Yeah, if there was a, if my brain is having a conniption.
Have you ever made a pizza before?
I have made a pizza before, but like pre-bought the base.
Yes, exactly.
Which I do think is a little bit criminal.
It's cheating.
Do you like to cook?
I don't think I'm a bad cook. I just don't cook because I'm by myself all the time. I enjoy baking more.
You bought cookies to set and they were delicious, so I can vouch for the baking skills. I cook, like I feed myself. Feeding other people, I think I would maybe be ashamed.
What's your favorite pizza place?
Pizza Hut.
So I think Pizza Pilgrims in London is really
That's nice.
Yeah. My family's pizza order was like a meat lovers and a barbecue chicken.
I'm a vegetarian now, but I'm pretty sure we would order a meteor.
Like
and
a
it's got like
carnivore and a
all
medium.
kinds of meat on, with barbecue
Yes.
and just loads of cheese.
Hi, I'm Yerin,
And I'm Hannah.
and we're here at New York Times Cooking making
Pizza! I'm heavily distracted by the bowl of pasta. I don't understand where this comes into pizza making, but I'm kind of determined to make it work. Delish.
On a pizza.
What are you doing?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna just vibe it out. First step,
You've got to teach me because I don't know.
dust.
Hit me.
We dust this thing so the pizzas don't stick onto the board when we shove it in the oven. Okay. Aw.
Wait, we didn't wash our hands.
Should we wash it?
We're not dirty people.
Okay, great. And then we stretch our dough.
Yeah, I'm scared about that bit.
Don't
but-
these look so satisfying? They look like a butter. Do you want me to bring it to you? There you go.
What do I do?
And then you just stretch it. Like, you know, you drive and hands on the wheels, 10 to 2. Although if you drove like this, you would absolutely get into a car crash,
is
let me
how
tell
I
you that
drive.
right now. I've actually never thrown a pizza before.
Go on,
Go on,
go on.
go on.
Mind the camera. Oh, it's getting really stretchy.
Oh no!
I did it!
Oh no, it's the F word! Oh no! It's all going crazy!
I've got a sitch going on here.
Although it's like a... Okay, we're making it an oval pizza. Okay, no, it's... No. Okay.
I'm panicked.
Yeah. It's stuck to my hand.
I don't know how to make that knot.
It's like...
We're dressed as twins and our pizzas are all...
You know, it's like life.
It's how the Italians do it.
You don't want to press it too much though, honey.
Okay,
Because you don't want to stick it onto the board.
okay,
Because you got to get it into the oven.
okay.
I could just do this all day.
I just like it to be a circle. It's all I really wanted out of this exercise and I failed at the first hurdle, so...
It's almost a circle. But mine's not a circle either.
It's a pretty perfect circle.
It's really not. Do you see this? See this? It's straight line there.
Yes. Next.
Top.
What's your earliest or fondest memory of food?
Steak. No. I really don't remember that. Probably my mum's cooking. My mum would always cook delicious Korean food for us, and so probably always having a stew and side dishes.
What was your favorite dish that she would make you?
It's galbijjim actually, which is like a Korean soyish, like marinated stew kind of vibe. You know, I don't see my mum that often, but when I do go back home, I always tell her to make that for me.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so nice. That's so beautiful.
What about you?
Unfortunately, the first thing that came into my head was my dad made a banana bread and used blue food colouring instead of vanilla essence, and I can't get past that.
Damn.
That's family cooking in the Dodd household. He also made a lasagna once, and we didn't have lasagna sheets, so he used balls of spaghetti and just shoved it on top of the lasagna and hoped for the best. Those are my cooking memories.
Yeah.
Which might explain what's going on here.
I'm sure it's going to taste delicious. And that's all that matters, is the taste.
Have either of you ever worked in the food service industry?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was a waitress. I also worked in a hotel where I cleaned, but my favorite part of that job was folding napkins and ironing the napkins. It's a full job. And I just would put on Netflix and iron the napkins. That was really fun, but that's not to do with food.
But that's an interesting fact. If anybody was served by you, they're so lucky. Could you imagine?
I don't know that they were.
I would be. I'd be like,
They probably got the
oh my
wrong
God,
order.
you're the most beautiful person in the world. And then I'd like write my name, my name and number and like try and give it to you.
You can do that now.
Yeah.
I'll serve you your pizza later and you can slide me your number.
Oh, it's getting a bit spicy.
At what point should I add the pasta to the pizza is my biggest question.
Whenever
Why
your
is
heart
it here?
desires.
Has anybody done it?
I tried to initially do a smiley face and then I was like, let's be real here.
This looks I would buy this. This looks very good. This looks like a 4-year-old made it, but that's fine.
Hannah Dodd
Anyway.
made it. Anyone would be very lucky to have a pizza made by Hannah Dodd.
Yeah, and don't you forget it. I just want cheese.
Yeah, which one do you want?
Actually, no. Yes. Sorry.
You know what?
Cheeses that we have.
You're an adult. I'm gonna let you choose.
I'm gonna let you do that yourself.
Did I work in the food service industry? I was working at my university cafe. I really just took like coffee orders and put Vegemite on bread and gave it to them.
That is food.
Yeah, I guess so, but I never made the coffees, do you know what I mean? Like that's the cool part of the job.
What's your go-to hangover meal?
Pesto pasta. I feel like I never grew out of that. I've made it fancy now.
What's the fancy bit of it?
College. Right, here's what you do.
Okay, give it to me.
Red onion, pine nuts, mushroom, shrimp.
Shrimp?
She's been in America. Prawns. It
Pine
takes
nuts.
like 2 seconds to make, but it's yummy.
That sounds amazing.
What's your hangover cure?
My hangover meal is McDonald's.
Oh yeah, same. Let's do that. Yeah.
Cheeseburger, chicken nuggets.
Do you have a favorite American food?
What counts as American food?
I was just thinking the same. Burgers?
I've just got the
Ribs?
As a
American
vegetarian, they
barbecue?
are my favorite food
Yeah.
groups. Magnolia Bakery.
Levain Bakery. As you can tell, we have sweet tooths.
Yeah. I showed up with some Magnolia for you
She
yesterday.
did, and it was the best thing ever because their banana pudding is lit. I don't know where I did that.
I'm so happy
Bang,
that so
bang,
much
it's
of
lit.
this has happened on camera.
Hannah, the corn on your pizza. That has been divisive here.
Pick it off, quick. Get rid of it. Ah! I like a mushroom and sweet corn pizza.
Oh, honey, don't do this to me.
It's not pineapple.
I'm learning so much about you today.
Is it just as bad as pineapple?
No, I know it's not pineapple. I see that it's corn, but you're putting corn on your pizza and that ain't okay.
But it's not like putting pineapple on a pizza. Do you put pineapple on your
I
pizza?
don't put pineapple on my pizza anymore.
I'm sorry, and you're judging me?
People change, people grow. You know what? Korean pizza joints love to put sweet corn on their pizza. So maybe we should go to Korea. We should take a trip to Korea.
Great.
I'm putting a lot of meat on this. I don't know what's happening.
Because you just don't want me to taste it. It's like
Okay, I think
extra mozzarella balls too much.
no, nothing's ever too much.
Quite a lot of judgment, guys.
No.
No!
We listen and we don't judge.
If you were to show each other around your hometowns, where would you go eat?
Spoons.
Spoons?
That won't mean anything. Oh,
No spoons.
I mean, in my hometown, there was a Spoons, which is like the cheapest pub food you could get. Where would you take me?
Maybe a fish and chip place just by the beach.
You take a Brit to a fish and chip shop.
Okay. I'm sensing a lot of judgment here too. We have great fish and chips.
Do you?
We should just compare which country does better fish and chips.
I don't know what my vote is, but...
Well, we are literally by the water.
We have beaches, they're just grey.
And we just...
Okay?
Do you want to cut it? Do you want me to give you a knife? Or hands is better. Yeah, do that. It looks more rustic, more raw, more edgy. Yeah. What were we talking about?
No idea. Fish and chips, I think. It's a riveting conversation over here.
I put some crushed tomatoes on my base and then some mozzarella cheese, red onion, some bacon, some pesto, and now I'm olive oiling my crust.
I did tomato, mozzarella, red onion, mushroom, sweet corn, and more mozzarella.
It's gonna taste great.
Has anyone from the cast thrown a dinner party?
We've gone out for dinners, but no, we haven't hosted a dinner.
Did you girlies do anything? I feel like you, Michelle, and Izzy
I
were
lie.
Yeah.
Katie threw a dinner party actually, and we played. Well, I learnt how to play mahjong at Katie's place as well, and that was really, really nice. Actually, her mum cooked. I feel like I'm throwing Katie under the bus.
She invited us over, but she didn't cook.
But she didn't cook.
Do you guys feel ready?
Yeah.
I've never felt ready, but that's okay.
Shaking and move. Yeah. It ain't moving.
Everything else moves.
Oh no.
It's fine. It's moving.
It's a raining man.
Sorry. I'll clean up. I used to clean, I'm very good at it. I can help you.
Oh, thanks, babe. We don't need a man. Oh!
Stunning work.
Stunning. Wow. Let me help you now. Go for it.
So scared.
Yay! Oh my God, it's gonna taste amazing. I do know what starter is, but I've never done it myself.
So the next guest's gonna have to use our... I'm so sorry. I don't think either of us are ready to be parents.
Water first so that we don't have to...
I'm gonna trust you.
Okay.
I think you should do what Johnny and Ariana did, and you should make a wish.
What did they do?
There was words of encouragement, there were wishes. I think Johnny asked it a question at one stage.
I wonder what he asked.
What's your favourite capital city?
Perfect. Be healthy. Health is wealth. Life's hard, but you know.
You're gonna rise to the occasion.
Woo! I see what you did. And on that, I think that's a good note to end. Okay. Okay.
Bye.
Yes! Whoa!
That looks good!
Oh my God, it's like a Chicago pizza.
That looks really good.
Oh no, it's moving backwards. Can't get it out. Were we supposed to put the pesto after? No, surely not. Oh yeah, there's that trick too. Yours looks really good.
I don't know that mine resembles a pizza.
3, 2, 1.
Yay!
It's like we're gonna do fencing, Bridgerton fencing. We will not do that. These are expensive and I don't want to pay for them.
If you were a food dish, what would you be?
The cookies that you bake, because you're super sweet.
Aww. And you're like the banana pudding, because you're super sweet.
Yeah.
Do you not like that one?
No, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sweet treats.
Sweet treats. And we're desserts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, look.
Mine looks like an erupting volcano.
Yeah, she's a lot thicker than I like my pizza to be.
She's thick.
She's thick.
There is literally liquid flying out of this.
Yeah, same. Look at that.
You could swim in there.
Yeah, because you added the corn.
It's not the corn! There is so much liquid coming out.
Yeah, what's that about?
It's like a river.
Take me to the river.
Cheers.
Oh, are we doing this?
Are we married?
Mmm.
Not bad.
Mmm.
It's a bit wet. It's actually really good.
I really do like lipstick on my chin.
No, that's what I was worried about for me. Yeah.
You don't have any. Thank you, New York Times Cooking.
Bridgerton is out on Netflix now.
You did great.
Smash that.
Yeah.
We're happy with the pizzas?
Oh my God, so happy.
It's surprising.
This is great. I really was hungry.